friends. Today I would like to discuss with you understanding advertising influence on consumer behavior. Introduction, background, consumer and advertising. What are the objectives? First, we have to understand consumer behavior, to understand advertising, to understanding the process of advertising influence the consumer behavior, to study the impact of advertising on society. The term consumer behavior is defined as the behavior consumers exhibit in searching for, purchasing for, using, evaluating and disposing product and services that they expect will satisfy their needs. Consumer behavior focus on how individuals make decisions to spend their available resources such as time, efforts, money on consumptions related items that include what they buy, when they buy, why they buy, where they buy, how often they buy, how often they use, how they evaluate after the purchase and use it, and impact of evaluation on further purchase and how they dispose it. Of course, there are various factors play the important role for the consumer purchasing, consuming, and the post-purchase behavior. Consumer behavior is physical activity, mental, and emotional people do when select, purchase, use, and dispose of goods and service to satisfy their needs. Consumer behavior is described as a series of activities directly towards the acquisition, use, and disposal of goods and service occurs. These activities include the decisions that are made before and after procedure as per the different experts. In view of the importance and the scope of its application to determine the marketing strategies, the focus is to identify factors influencing consumer behavior that will help to identify the market and its behavior. Advertising is a way of communication to convince an audience or thinking purchase decisions about a product or service and delivering information to viewers. Advertising is a non-personal platform where ideas, concepts, products or service and informations are promoted through media by an identified sponsor to persuade or influence behavior. Advertising is taken one of the renowned marketing weapon for its long-lasting impact on viewers' mind, and its exposure is much broader according to the experts. So, advertising has hook stimulating influence on purchasing behavior of consumer. Mostly, advertising are more effective on products that have intrinsic qualities. Qualities are not known at the time of purchase, and it takes one to discover the qualities upon using the product. And when there is a substantial chance of differentiating a product, it best suits to advertise on the product as per the experts. The consumer will therefore not purchase a commodity whose price is above the additional satisfaction that he derives from the goods. How much of a good demanded depends on the satisfaction the consumer gains from spending extra money on the good. A rational consumer will spend on a good till their gains equal to the cost they pay for the product, according to the experts. When there is a strong emotional purchase motives such as to product healthy or enhance social position, it pays advertiser on such a product. These conditions make demand for the product more inelastic. The more emotions consumers attach to a product, the more they tend to insensitive to its price. This is of importance to firms' product as they can earn high sales in pricing their product, according to the expert. In the absence of advertising, consumers may not be aware of the product and its potential to satisfy their needs and desire. According to Kotler and Keller 2006, advertising mix consists of 8 modes of advertising, which are personal selling, direct marketing, advertising, sales promotion, exhibitions, public relations, and publicity, events and experience, interactive marketing, and word of mouth. According to the Kotler and Keller explain its variety of programs designed to promote or protect a company's image or its individual product. For example, British Airways has recently invested in changing its identity by redesigning its aircraft livery. The change from the use of a corporate color scheme and national image on the aircraft to a far more international image reflect the company's global ambitions, according to experts. In this market, according to Chamberlain, 1933, believed that advertising may provide consumer with information about their wants, but also add that it can be persuasive and alter one's demand for another. Advertising, when informative, make consumer responsive to a price change, thus increase the demand elasticity for the product, but a persuasive advert will create brand loyalty, making the demand for a good and lasting, according to Bagwell 2011. Chamberlain 1933 then concluded the effects of advertising cannot be determined by the theory alone. Thus, where a firm's demand curve is tangential to its U-shaped average cost of production and selling, but also considering the extent to which advertising is whether informative or persuasive, or also whether scale economies exist, according to Bagwell 2011. Views of advertising. After this insight, Chamberlain 1933, there came into existence 3 views of advertising: persuasive, informative, and complementary. The persuasive views developed by the Robinson and later advanced by Worthwaite 1928 and empirically supported by Brain Beyond 1956 and Commonor and Wilson 1974 holds that advertising affects one demand and it's capable of ensuring brand loyalty. This view adds that advertising makes demand for a product inelastic and thus ensure in the price of the product, and this effect might lessen as a result of scale economies. The view also adds that consumers are willing to try new products, especially those of unknown quality, and this may deter entry of new producers. These scholars agree that this view of advertising will only work in scale economies. The informative view of advertising propagated by Oja 1960 holds that advertising serves to inform consumers about a product, that add that advertising increases the demand elasticity for a product. And this happens because it is believed by these scholars that as information of the product is given, it is assumed the product is of high quality, and this even can increase the demand for products. There is complementary views of advertising, which is developed by Stengler and Becker 1977. This view believes that advertising influences consumers by attaching a complementary influence in the consumer's utility function. These views make us understand the different phases through which advertising has gone through. Hierarchy of effect. According to traditional hierarchy of effect, Advertising effect of advertising exposure leads to brand cognition and cognition about the advertisement, which then leads to the attitude toward the advertisement and brand until their purchase intention. Effect of advertising. Advertising is the life of trade and also advertising increases the demand. Beneficial effect. Give information to the consumer, improve the scale of product, and effectual advertisement result in a swift change in the attitude and the habit of use. Negative effect. Advertising makes people being shopaholic. People can feel and excluded as long as they haven't enough money to pay for the product. Psychological theory. The essence of psychological theory, learning theory, lies in the fact that people learn from experience and result of experience will modify their actions and future occasions. The importance of the brand loyalty and repeat purchase makes learning theory more relevant in the field of marketing. Among the learning theory comes stimulus response theory and cognitive theories. Consumer attitude and behavior. Consumer attitude and behavior, as mentioned earlier, consumer buying pattern is directly evolved from the consumer behavior and its attitude. Many things combined to build up the behavior of any individual. The first thing which influences the consumer behavior and shape it is culture. Culture builds a strong perception of the product in the mind of the customers. According to RAI 2013, there are several national and international brands which people recognize and have strong perception in their mind. These perceptions are pinched in their mind because of their culture, lifestyle, and surroundings. Also, advertisements have very important role in shaping the consumer's behavior. Consumers' advertisements are the source of motivation which force them to buy a particular product. Advertisements are also source of building trust. Consumers is induced significantly if he is looking for the quality and price of the product. Purchase attitude can also be built up by the product evaluation and the brand recognition, according to the expert 2013. Advertising expenditure across India in 2020. You can see that billions of rupees spent in most of the different segments. Others 131.43 billion, FMCG 105.54 billion Indian rupees, e-commerce is the third one, 97.88, consumer durable 57.51, telecom 51.21, auto 40.92, BFSI 28.36, media and entertainment 25.42, retail 16.62. So you can see the significance of advertising revenue on different sectors. C. Digital advertising revenue in India from financial year 2008 to 2020 with forecast until financial year 2022. So you can see that digital advertising revenues have increased a lot since 2008 to 2022. Levels of relationship with the brands. There are three levels of relationship with the brands: emotional, personality, and product, and which is vary from individual to individual. Social and cultural consequences. Does advertising encourage materialism? Does advertising makes people buy things they don't need? Is advertising a reflection of society? So, economic impact of advertising. Effects on consumer choice, differentiation, brand loyalty, effects on competition and barriers to entry, economies of scale, effects on product cost and price. Summarizing economic effect: change consumer taste, lower sensitivity to price, builds brand loyalty, results in higher profits, reduced competition, leads to higher price, leads to fewer choice. provide useful information, increase price sensitivity, increase competition, pressure for high quality, pressure for lower price, forces inefficient firms. And the last, do you agree with the Leo Brand Act? It must be said that without advertising, we would have a fair different nation and one that would be much the poorer, not merely in material commodities, but in life of the spirit, according to the expert. Are you agree with this? Thank you very much. Thanks for the discussion in the class.